5, 4, 3, 2.
Tier 1 performance.
Hey guys, welcome back to Tier 1 Performance. We are here with another episode of In and Out Talks. Today's special guest is Ciara Victor. Cici,
hi.
Thanks for being on the show. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and how'd you get started with softball?
Okay, well, my real name is not Cici.
You lied to me already.
I know. Sorry. It's Ciara. You know, Cici kind of came about because people sometimes think I'm saying Sarah when I say Ciara, so I started going with Cici.
All right.
Nothing special about it. I'm 23. I grew up in the Deer Park, LaPorte area, in the Houston area.
Okay.
Born and raised. What else, man? I went to college, of course. Played all the way in Arkansas.
Nice.
We'll get into that.
Nice. What made you want to start playing softball in the first place, or how did you come about?
My brother played baseball.
Okay.
So my brother is like, I think 27 now. Don't hate me if I didn't know your age, sorry. But he played and he was really good, and I was like, dang, like I want to do that too. And so I started, t-ball, and I was like, ew. So my dad put me into softball,
Just too many boys.
Just disgusting.
Yes.
I didn't start softball as young as some kids did. They start at 4 or 5. I probably started at 10, maybe 11. So a little late bloomer.
Mm-hmm.
She had to pick up a little slack.
Yeah, that's fine. Absolutely.
But yeah, then I just kind of fell in love with it.
All right. So what position did you mostly play, or what did you fall in love with exactly? A position?
So when it came to, high school, I feel like school ball and select ball is so different. I feel like
100%.
everybody played a different spot in high school and they played a different spot in select ball.
100%.
Because in high school I played infield. But in select ball I was strictly outfield.
Really?
Yes. I know I don't look like a runner, but she can move out there, okay?
She was a track star.
She was a track star. She really was.
Okay.
And then when I got to college, I just stayed in the infield and played middle infield.
Well, that's funny because I was looking up some of your stats and you had a bunch of steals. You had a huge amount of steals, so you weren't slow by any means.
Man, I know. And then after my freshman year, I did not steal no more because that's when I got my injury.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I actually played with a torn labrum in my hip for 2 years.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's nothing shy of painful.
So painful. So painful.
So tell me about your high school career, or actually tell me about, leading up to high school.
Okay.
As far as how much you played, what were you playing? Were you gunning for varsity? Were you just trying to have fun with it? When did you start realizing that you wanted to play at the next level?
So definitely, so I was going back before I even played seriously select. I played league, in the LaPorte associations. And then from there, I made the all-star team, and then from there, my league coach actually made a select team. So that was my first select team. And we traveled a little bit, went to Florida, typical Florida trip that everybody takes to Disney,
Yeah.
And then from there, we kind of just disbanded, and I was about 14, and I just went straight to 18U.
Oh, wow.
And I actually played in the New Caney area for Texas Strike Force Elite with Susan Martin. I'll never forget that lady. Still text her every now and then. It was kind of rough when I first started. Had girls on that team, older girls that just treated me so like a menace.
So you played up? Yeah,
I played up. So I played a little bit of 14, but I never stayed in 14 for that long, honestly. I started playing 18U pretty quick.
Oh, wow.
And it taught me a lot, honestly. Sometimes I don't know if it was the wrong decision to be so young, 15 playing 18U instead of playing 14 or 16U.
Do a lot of girls do that?
It really depends on your skill level, honestly. Not saying I was better than anybody, but
do you see it often? And at least
I do. I see it a lot, at least in her organization too. Because she was straight up, she will tell you if you sucked and you were not going to, if you were not ready for 18U and you still had things to develop. Even one time, I played on her 18U, but I was picking up one for 14U organizations because of how young I was. And she like told me straight up, she's like, you are not ready to pitch in 18U. And I was like, all right, I'm going to prove you wrong. Instead of taking it as like an insult and like going and crying about it, I was like, all right, well, I'm about to prove you wrong right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I was a pitcher too.
Throw that out there.
Not my favorite, but I was a pitcher too.
Okay.
But yeah, she really like morphed me into the player I was. Two of my other coaches too. I won't give the other two credit. But.
So in high school you played infield, but travel ball you played outfield. So when you decided, hey, I kind of want to go play college, I want to take it to the next level, what were you going for? Definitely
infield. I just started falling in love with it because so in high school I started at Deer Park. If you know Deer Park, it's political there. I'll be straight up with you. I did really well, honestly. I was always in the A group because they're categorized. So it's A, B, C, and D.
Right.
And, your A is like varsity, top tier. And then D is like your sophomore team because that's sophomore, JV, and then varsity. And I was always in AAA. And then all of a sudden my junior year, they just wanted to switch me to like B or C group. I can't remember which one it was. And then they pulled me into the office and said, oh, you're good enough to play varsity, but you probably won't start. And I was like, they were like, you can be a manager though. I was like, I know y'all did not just disrespect me in my face like this. And so I was like, no, I quit. And they said, you're quitting? And I was like, yeah, I'm quitting.
Oh, wow.
On the spot. And they were like, we really don't want you to quit. Like the coaches were begging me not to quit. I was like, why would you, like, what do you want me here for? You know, I'm just a waste of space at this point.
Right.
And so I got in the car. I remember the drive home because I actually lived in Seabrook. I would drive 20 to 30 minutes every day to
go to
Park
high school,
because the softball program was, known for winning. Right. But no one knows like deep down what would happen in those programs. Yeah, and I like got in the car, talked to my stepmom. I was like, I just quit. She said, well, that was a little impulsive. I was like, well, listen. It was, I remember at Deer Park, we actually used to get weighed. And like, if you were a certain weight, like she told you. Like, I remember this one girl, I will not say her name on here because, I don't want to do that. Yeah. But I remember she was just crying because our coach like weighed her. And
like by position, like you cannot weigh over a certain amount?
I don't know if it was by position or just like to be on varsity, but like, so she stayed on the sophomore team and it was just so, I'll never forget it. Just,
not due to her skill level or anything?
No, just it's like when we would go to the weight room, we would all stand in line and be weighed. Yeah, I remember eating crackers and almonds and probably a water for lunch almost every day.
Wait,
like I was scared.
Just for not saying like, hey, we want to track where your progress is, like if you're putting on muscle or making sure you don't lose too much weight during the season?
I was never overweight or anything, so I never really knew exactly what those girls were told, but I just remember her crying after being weighed and the coach talking to her, and like I'll never forget it. And I had a distaste for Deer Park ever since. I don't know if it's like that now, because honestly, when I left, the year after, the head coach and the assistant left, and then it was a different lady that actually coached me on JV, and I loved her. She was a good coach, and she played at Deer Park too. I don't remember her name, don't get me wrong. She was a blonde lady. She was so nice. I loved going to her for things, and I know she started head coaching. I think it's a different head coach now. They went through a lot of coaches so far after I left. Yeah, so, but yeah, I won't call the one coach out because people that knew, I graduated in literally like 2019. I went there 2017, 2018. You know what coach it was. But yeah, and like then, I told her I got committed to a college, and she just was like, oh, okay, there's a lot of girls here committed to college. I'll never forget how they made me feel, especially coming from LaPorte to Deer Park. If you don't know, there's a rivalry. Is that how you say it?
Rivalry.
Yeah. You got it, dog.
Yeah.
And between LaPorte and Deer Park, and she, like, when I first went in there, I felt like an alien. Like, they, like, made me feel so dumb. Like, basically, like, I didn't have any talent because I came from LaPorte, And my parents made me go to Deer Park, and sometimes I still don't forgive them. But, it kind of shaped me to the person I am. So from there, because I was already living in Seabrook, League City, I just was like, screw it, I'm just going to go wherever high school I'm zoned for.
So you're living like two kind of lives. You're like, everybody is at your hometown, 25 minutes away, but your social life is associated quite literally at a school where you're treated completely different.
Oh, yeah. And I've never felt like I sucked so bad in my life. And I feel like a lot of girls can attest for the experience I had, too. I can ask so many of my friends that I still am friends with to today how they like Deer Park, and they will tell you they hate it.
So I think it's something to be said that, honestly, not only environment, but some players, I wouldn't say, I don't want to, I hate calling it like an emotional player, but you know the phrase like look good, feel good, play good.
Yes.
Like that has, I can attest that has a huge impact on like a lot of players. And if you're having a terrible time, you're going to be playing terrible. But if you're having, if you're having a good time, you know, you're going to be playing great. So like, I'm a little bit opposite, and I'm sure players adapt all the time. So like for me, baseball was kind of like a getaway. So I played the game very, very angry, very hostile.
So emotional.
Yeah. So I'm like emotionally charged to the mat. Like it looks like I'm about to crash out on a baseball. You know,
I was the same way.
Like if you talk to Mitch, you know, Mitch was like, "Oh, Jordan's a very intense baseball player. Like Jordan's not smiling. Jordan's not talking about girls. He's focused on the game. You know, like he might have a little bit of a profanity, maybe like you know, like, but he's super intense. But Mitch is like singing a song at shortstop, you know, cracking wedding crashers jokes in the field, you know, like smiling, having a good time, and Mitch is completely dominating. I'm dominating too, but it's the different spectrum of the world.
Exactly. No, that was me too, because like my dad taught me, you know, because my dad coached me until I was about 11, 12, and then he like always hit a cutoff with me and my brother, like, I'm gonna stop coaching you. He was not daddy ball. He literally like, don't think my dad's abusive, but he literally grabbed me by the face mask before and said, you need to get your together. And I was like, you're right, big dog, but you just made me cry. I know you're right now, but in that moment in time, being 12, I did not know that. But no, I just played with a lot of emotion, a lot of passion. And like I was always told, you cannot show any emotion when you're on the field.
Yes, and I agree, but like at the same time, you can be emotional.
Yes.
You just the point of that is like you can't let them see it, and that's a hard thing to grasp as a kid. Yeah. You know, because kids are just emotionally charged at the ultimate max.
Bad. And see, it was crazy because I feel like I started showing a lot more emotion in college. But maybe it was because I was 8 hours away. I was by myself, you know.
And a lot of people don't talk about that transition period. So wait, before we get into it though.
I know, I skipped a whole portion of high school, huh?
Before we get there though, explain how you ended up getting recruited, how you ended up going to your college.
So I ended up with softball. I don't know if I feel like it would be the same in baseball. I guess different areas are different too, because I knew when, you know, in college I went to Arkansas, they were recruited out of high school. But for us, I'm not recruited out of high school. We're recruited out of select. Correct. Like you go to college camps, you go to college tournaments.
That's how it was for us. I mean, although to be fair, you can get picked up out of high school.
Yeah, you can.
It's rare.
I never see in Houston area at least, unless you're recruited and they're coming to watch you.
Exactly.
I do not see a college coach just sitting at a high school.
To get a college coach to get out of high school game, there's already intentions of that.
Yeah, there's already a player they're looking at.
Yeah,
you know,
they already talked to that guy.
And you just catch their eye somehow.
Yeah, it's like you took their guy deep. And then they're like, hold on, let's renegotiate.
Yeah, but that's how, because my select coach was rough, man. But like Susan Martin, I'll name drop her. I'll never forget her. She really like toughened me up. Like she made me not so emotional, because I was like, my first man, she would just yell and yell and yell, and I'm like, I'm not used to this. Only my dad's yelled at me, you know. And like you, as a parent, you cannot talk at her practice. You started talking, you were sent out to your truck. And if you didn't want to go, you could take your kid and go. So she was pretty strict. She got a little soft on these girls nowadays. You know, man, I'm like, man, you are soft. You used to yell at us. Yeah, she used to like make us like have rope tied to a tire, and we just had to pull tires, and we did
sleds, huh?
Yeah,
old-fashioned sleds.
Oh yeah. I remember one time we even lost. Like we didn't lose. We actually won, but we let that team come too close, and she was just making us run foul poles till our next game.
Old school mentality for sure.
Old school for sure.
So that ended up helping you get recruited?
Oh yeah, for sure. She's the one that actually put me in the outfield, because I really didn't play outfield until I was on her team. And then like I guess they just saw I had a little speed. A speed I guess I did not uncover, you know, until then. But yeah. And so she kind of made me fall in love with outfield. And it was kind of a slow process at first. I had to kind of learn how to track a ball, things like that. Because I usually started in right field. Now, before any of y'all say anything, it's not because I sucked. Because I know people like to put the preference that right fielders suck.
So, in a non-discriminatory positional world, I say in baseball, the right fielder usually has the strongest arm.
Yes, I was about to say I had an arm to throw people out at first.
Center field is usually your guy with the most range.
Yes.
And then left fielders usually swing the bat pretty hard.
Yes.
They may not be the best fielder, but they usually swing it pretty decent. Of course, that's just like general knowledge. That's not like how it should be.
Yeah, I know, huh? But no, like even at one point, like us outfielders, we were just so well put together that we would just rotate. Like we would start in our spots,
Oh, your
and then we just
chemistry was pretty
rotated.
good.
Yeah, we just rotated every inning. So then I would move to center, the left fielder moved to right, and then the center fielder moved to left.
Nice.
So it was pretty nice like that too. I enjoyed select. At first when I started, these girls were just so nasty, the older girls. But once they left, it was just so peaceful.
That's so wild because like
Yeah.
as your teammates, y'all are all there for the same reason to get
Exactly.
recruited.
They just thought they were the crap. Okay, let's
Were
just
they,
say it
were
like
they getting
that.
recruited like they were?
Yeah, like one of them went to PV.
Oh.
Like so, like when you, like I said, if you played on her team, if you weren't gonna play in college, you weren't allowed to play on her team
I
or
see.
her organization. So if you had no intention of playing in college, she was not gonna let you play on her 18U Gold. It's just not gonna
Right.
happen because she says you're wasting her time.
Right.
Like she's trying to get kids
Which is true,
recruited.
yeah.
Yeah, she's trying to get kids recruited. So, and I understand that for sure. Like if you want to just go play, just to play, go play league or rec. You know.
Right. Be
Like,
a hometown hero.
Yeah,
on someone
would be a
else's
hometown
time.
hero.
Yeah.
You know, don't be playing school. Don't come
So
play
they
here.
recruited you for outfielding then?
See, I told him I was an outfielder, but I guess like by the time I came to college, it was like, well, we really need a second baseman. I was like, I'll start where I can. I will start where I can.
So you recruited as an outfielder, and then when you got into school, you were like, they're like, hey, we need you to go second. You're like, whatever. I'll
Period.
field anyway.
I'll do it. Yeah, and it wasn't a hard transition, like I said, because after I left Deer Park, when I played at Deer Park, I played second base. So it wasn't hard. Like I said, I feel like in high school and college, or like high school and select, you always play two different positions. So then when I moved, because I left Deer Park in the middle of my junior year, and you know, that's hard for kids to leave in the middle of a junior year in January.
Most important year, some might say,
Yes,
for
most
recruiting.
important year. I went all the way to Clear Falls in League City, and I actually wasn't going to play softball, but I moved like I think 2 or 3 days before tryouts, and the softball coach reached out to me, and so I came from Deer Park, yeah. And she was like,
wow.
"Are you going to try out?" And I was like, "I wasn't really planning on it because Deer Park just ruined it for me." I was like, "I'm just
Oh.
going to focus on select. I'm just going to enjoy high
trying
school."
to get.
Yeah.
Is that normal? Can you just play select and still get recruited to play college even though you don't play high
for
school?
sure. At least in the Texas area, like Houston area, I
I
know.
did not
I know
know
a lot of other places, if they're not really big in that travel ball scene, it's kind of harder. So I know some, you know, at least smaller schools will go to high schools. I don't see D1s going to your high school a lot unless it's like, you know,
Oh, wow.
they already recruited that person.
Okay, because that's kind of weird for us. Because for baseball, you only get recruited via select.
Yeah,
and
that's how
like
it is softball,
if
yeah.
you play, but if you don't play for your high school team, it's kind of like a red
It
flag.
looks- yes,
It's kind
it
of they're
looks
like
weird.
you got problems with your coach, or they're like, what's the deal? How come you have no high school numbers to match your
Yeah.
travel ball numbers? So like
Yeah.
sometimes like I guess that's one of the ways that softball and baseball is different.
Yeah.
However, like I heard soccer is kind of the same way.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people don't play high school soccer; they play travel
Yeah.
soccer to go play college.
Yeah. See,
And so-
college will point that out. They'll be like, "Why'd you not play in high school?" Because
Yeah.
one of our girls didn't play in high school, but it wasn't because she didn't want to. She just went to a private school and their team sucked. She didn't
Sucked.
want to be part of a sucky team.
Which is fair. Which is
yeah.
fair. So, I get
you know,
it, I
she
get
got
it.
me there, but yeah.
So when it came to recruiting, coming from high school ball to select ball, compare the competition, is it noticeably different? Is it
Heck
terribly?
yeah. So honestly though, I played in a good district, like a good 6A Texas district.
Right.
So
Usually the top 6A
Yeah.
is usually the top of the top.
yeah,
you know?
so it wasn't like a big difference. Definitely hitting wise, there was bigger hitters in select than I faced in high school for sure. High
Like-
school is more, you know, like people are just base hitting, you know,
You got
things
your
like
one or
that.
two guys and
Yeah,
then
that
there's
can hit well, but select is where I saw the big hitters where I'm like, man, they're making me nervous out here, you know? Like I'm like, man, let me play the fence. But no, high school just was so different, like I said. And then when I moved to Clear Falls, I ended up being on their JV team first. You know, I just coming in.
I'm pretty sure transfer you have to go.
Yes.
You have to go to the you can't be varsity and transfer
Yes.
varsity because otherwise kids
Yeah.
would do that all the time.
Yeah, exactly. So I started on JV, but so the rule at Clear Falls at the time, I don't know if it's the same now, is that if you're out of district, you cannot just start on varsity. Like you have to play on JV first. But she actually didn't know I was zoned until she looked at my address and was like, "Oh my God, you can play on varsity." And so she,
Yes, yeah, address-
So our catcher actually got a surgery, so they moved our third baseman to catching, and then they came and moved me up to third base, and I was like, give me a mask and I'll play the corner. Like, a mask makes me feel invincible in the infield. And like, I know people will be like, oh, you're wearing a mask. You don't understand. Softball fields are a lot closer than baseball fields. To be fair, okay? Like,
baseballs are a lot softer than softballs. Yeah. There's nothing soft about a softball.
No, whatsoever.
It's so hard. That thing hurts so much. Getting smoked by one.
I've been hitting the orbital bone like on a line drive, and like I swear I cracked it. Like, I know I did. And like the doctor was like, you can't get any more concussions. I've been so careful ever since. I'm not kidding.
No wrong with wearing a mask. There's nothing wrong with wearing it. It's either this or like look disfigured for the rest of your life.
I'm telling you.
Put the mask on.
Like, I got hit in one of my college years in the face. Just a bad hop, man. It was just a terrible hop. And I still didn't wear a mask.
Oh, wow.
I know.
I guess it's like the same thing for like.
Don't do that.
Same thing for like, I guess, like infielders not wearing cups.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I don't want to wear a cup. It's super uncomfortable to play with a cup. Mm-hmm. But like, hey, would you rather get hit by a 92-mile-an-hour ball, taking a one hop straight to your nether region? Like, no.
You know, we're gonna wear that. God bless, because I don't think I would be able to wear that thing.
Yeah, we're gonna wear a cup, and this is a safety protocol for all my players out there. Please wear cups.
Wear face masks too.
Yeah. Because
I was a pitcher and I learned my lesson.
Yes.
I did not learn my lesson. I still didn't wear one.
So, funny story. I was playing for Team Mizuno. Mm-hmm. So like we were sponsored by Mizuno. It was pretty cool. I was going into the 9th grade if I wasn't already in the 9th grade, and I was playing third base. So kind of like you, I played third base in travel ball. And I played a little bit outfield, but like I was mostly an infielder. Yeah. And then when I got to high school, they saw that I was black. They saw that I was fast, and they're just like,
I'm telling you.
They said ship and go.
It's
bro.
The black, dude. I swear.
Which to be fair, I was more primed for outfield. I just like, for me as a young kid, no one wants to play outfield. Outfield's boring.
No one wants to play outfield.
When I got older, I ended up loving it. Either way, back to my story. I was third base, and I didn't wear a cup because I don't know if I was lazy at this practice or I was just like, yeah, well, you know, it's not a big deal, but we were taking BP and I'm playing third. Dude hits a smoking two-hopper and it hits something and the ball jerks back into me. It was a backhand, jerks back into me. I go like this, hits me right there. It felt like it cut it in half. And I immediately went down to the ground. I started tearing up. My dad's looking at me like, I've never seen my son fall so fast in his life. No BS. I hop the fence. I go to the bathroom. I'm like, checking myself. I haven't checked myself. I'm just staring at myself in the mirror like, I'm scared.
This is my 13th reason.
I'm scared. I'm scared to check down there to see like if it's mutilated or anything. And thank God it wasn't. We still ended up going to the doctor. And then ever since then, wore cup. If I was inside 100 feet to the batter, wearing a cup.
Yeah, like 100%. I would like slapper defense because you know we got slappers in softball. I was playing halfway up the line, like I'm playing in your face. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna make sure you hit that ball right to me. Because, see, with slap, and I knew my arm strength. I knew I was not the strongest arm on the third base that you can have. So I always played in your face. But I knew I had a quick glove. So that's why I was like,
quick.
I've never played behind a bag in my life. Like, it was always within the bag if it was a power hitter, or if you're a slapper, I'm playing halfway up the line where they have that white chalk line. I don't know if you ever saw it on a softball field. Mm-hmm. Like that halfway mark, I was playing right there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I was like, you're going to have to hit it at me really hard.
That would make me terrifyingly nervous. As a third baseman, not a hitter. As a hitter, I'm like, you better hope it's not inside. I'm going to turn so fast.
Listen, that mask made me feel invincible. Let me tell you.
Whatever it does.
Without the mask, I'm playing in the grass.
No mask, playing in the grass. Outfield Central. Yeah. So talk about your college career. How did that? I know it's a little bit of a roller coaster.
I know, man.
As an understatement.
My college experience was just a whole crap show, man. It just... Freshman year was probably my best year. I had so much fun. I made friends, things like that. I was part of a first-year program.
What school is this?
Southern Arkansas University Tech.
Okay,
so I was recruited somewhere else, and I decommitted and went there. Okay. Because coach got fired at the other one. I was like, well, like,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, and then the next coach that was coming in, we looked at his history, and he moved like almost every 2 or 3 years. That's a red flag. And I was like, let me decommit and just take the process right. But I was still in my
that's the new coach that was coming in to replace you.
So I was still in my junior year, so it was okay to decommit. I still had a little time. Yeah, for sure. I still had a whole summer to play too, junior year going into senior year. So from there I went to this new program because they just made me feel homey. They and I'll never first year program, they've never coached college, But it was just like, oof. It was just a roller coaster, let me tell you. Love them as people, but as coaches, it was questionable because I'm like.
So let me ask you this, because I feel, first off, when people go D2, D3, D1, JUCO, NAIA, you know, very few people get to experience, you know, kind of like that realistic fantasy TV show, reality TV show kind of experience. Like, I will say I was lucky enough and blessed enough to go to college, went to my college, and for the most part, things played out well. Like, I earned a starting spot, blah, 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 this, blah, blah, that. However, me getting there was another different story. It was completely ugly, hideous. Don't think think that's what you want to come to the limelight. However, I know I have several friends, I have several teammates that, you know, like, they kind of got treated like property. They kind of, you could tell, like, you know, this is not what they were expecting. They were getting lost somewhere down the road.
Everybody has their own experience.
Exactly. It's literally like, you know, kind of like, hey, the goal is to, you know, make it to this point, play this team, and then everyone's taking their own path through this forest to get there.
And that's why, even going back to the Deer Park thing, of course, everybody did not have that same experience. Some girls loved it.
Some girls had a great time.
You know, they had a great time. I did not, and that was the same for me in college. Like, it was just.
And people don't talk about that enough. And
no.
It's very much like that. So, like, when it came down, when things started going bad for you, where did it start? Did it start on the field, off the field? Did it start
off the field?
Injuries? Okay.
I never really did bad in college. Like, I think I ended my college career at a 420 batting average. Oh, honestly,
pretty great.
Yeah, like, and that was on injury. So I was really ready to go play somewhere else. I was just gonna get hip surgery and try to go back. Did not happen like that. Right. Hip surgery is a tough one. Basically, like, I don't even walk the same anymore or run the same. I can feel it every time I'm, like, running or, like, trying to work out.
Is it like phantom or is it like actual still pain?
So I was diagnosed with hip dysplasia. So really, and I have it in both hips. So basically, my hips are just going to deteriorate the longer I live. So when I got that surgery, I didn't fix the dysplasia. I just fixed the teared labrum. And then I had shallow sockets. Right. So they had to go in there and fix up the socket. And then they went, and fixed up the labrum. But I didn't fix the dysplasia because that was going to be really invasive compared to this one. I literally only have 3 little scars for the hip surgery I had. But dysplasia was going to, like, I had to really relearn how to walk and stuff. But with this one, it was just like, man, like, I just felt so different. Like, I didn't feel athletic.
You didn't feel like you were in your own body from the lower half?
No, not at all. So I couldn't even play, like, because I graduated 2019. So when I graduated 2019, my first year of college, going into spring, I had a concussion. And so I didn't even get to play, like, my last 2 spring games before they canceled it because of COVID. Right. So we got sent home. Right. So then when we came back, that year was free. And then we got a second free year because the 2020 season was free. And then that 2021 season was free. So my only season that actually counted in college was 2022. So I really have 3 more years of eligibility if I really wanted to go be a 28-year-old or something. You know,
just dominate these children.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't know. When it came to experience, I feel like a lot of my teammates truly did not understand what I was going through. I was captain. I didn't start off as captain my freshman year. I kind of went into the role after one of the other captains messed up. And I don't think people really understood the pressure I was under and things that were told to me. And, like, you know, the girls, I'll probably say I was a B word. Okay, I really was. But honestly, they don't know what I was under being a captain. Right.
And I think a big part of sports is especially nowadays you see with the NIL, but a lot of people don't talk about the mental health pressure that is put on a lot of people. Now, I will say there are people that hide behind the mental health thing, and it pisses me off to no degree because people that actually do go through it, it's going to get oversided. Oh, yeah. You know, versus someone who just doesn't want to conquer a little bit of adversity and hides behind mental health. I hate that for several reasons. However, like, what a lot of people don't understand, especially what I think older adults forget and what younger students can't see, is that, for one thing, we're 18 years old. Yeah. Going in as legalized adults, but also we don't know how the world works. No. On top of that, we're told at 18 years old, after what we've been told what to do our whole lives, you need to figure out what you want to do. Exactly. Now. And then you're like, well, all I know is I want to play baseball, or I want to play football, I want to play softball, basketball. That's all I want to do. And then you have someone in your face telling you, Well, that's not going to last forever.
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, I want to make it last as long as I can. Well, they're like, well, you realistically have 4 to maybe less years of letting it do. So, and then you take that pressure, and then whatever external factor you have outside, whether it's family, whether it's you hate the environment that you're in. Hell, I've even seen boyfriends and girlfriends affect players, and then you got
just
partying.
Wait till I get into that.
Yeah, and then you got partying, having a social life outside, because now you get these pent up kids in these small towns. Now they're free to go drink, go party, smoke, whatever, and then you have all that, and then you have school on top of everything else. You still got school. Yeah. And now no one's telling you what to do. You're on your own, and you got to throw that all together. And then they say, by the way, perform or lose money.
Yeah.
Perform or lose, perform or go home and become a failure. So all that stacked up to some people can definitely have a huge impact. I mean, and I think it's especially cruel because you got guys telling you, hey, come here, come to my school, you'll have a great time. Come play for me. Like, we'll give you 30% scholarship. Like, this is the campus, these are the girls, this is the team, this is gonna be your locker. And then you get there
and it's not like that.
It's not like that at all. You come in, you play.
They sold you a dream.
Oh, it's exactly.
A lot of colleges do that.
They come in and they go, practice at 5 o'clock. Okay, and then no one will talk to you till 5 o'clock.
No.
And then you come back in, you change your locker room. You're with a bunch of strangers you really truly don't know. They were just really nice to you on your recruiting visit. And then they're trying to get you here.
It's
and then
true though.
You go onto the field, and let's say you don't have a great practice, you suck a little bit.
They just treat you like crap.
Yeah, target on your back. Like, now, oh great, this kid's not panning out.
Yeah.
Now I gotta go circle the list. I'm gonna go find his replacement. Next year, you got a kid that looks just like you.
Exactly.
That's just as good as you. And now you're on the brink of, I was a top recruit too. Now I'm gonna get cut.
Yeah.
And that happens. And it does happen.
It does.
And
I've seen girls come and go in college, and it's just like, it would break my heart because I'm like God bless. I was a starter. I didn't really have that problem, honestly, when it came to my skill. But going into my freshman year was okay, but going into like my sophomore and junior year, my third year, was just emotional roller coaster. Like, I know there's probably 2 genuine apologies I owe to 2 people that I said a bad comment to, playing off of emotion. And like, I remember one time I told this girl, like, because like I said, before we even started the podcast, talking about playing D1 and playing JUCO, those 2 categories just have 2 different mindsets. D1 they're going hard. They know they got to earn their spot, things like that. But in JUCO, you just had such lazy mindsets, and it made me mad. Like, girls were just like, I don't even want to play, or like things like this, and like it just made me super duper upset, you know, because it was just like, man, like, I came 8 hours away from home. Some of y'all live only an hour or 2 away. Like, I understand you can just go home when you want, but why waste everybody else's time, So, like, I remember in my, I think, sophomore season, they were trying to vote if we should even go to, like, playoffs or, like, go to our series. And I'm like, what is wrong with y'all?
Of course we're going.
I'm like, what is wrong with y'all? Like, yes, we're going. And so, like, the girl that said it, I said, well, we don't even need you anyways. So, I will generally give her an apology. She knows who she is. I shouldn't have said that. She was a year younger than me too. I felt terrible after it, because I'm generally such a nice person, but when it comes to softball, I'm just
intense, such
a different person. And like I said, the coaches put this certain pressure on me that I probably won't get too into detail with, because I have them on Facebook too. And I don't want to hear it. But yeah, they were, like I said, they were genuinely good people. Like, on the weekends, they would let me come stay at their house. I was by myself. A lot of the girls at that time, I didn't really have Houston girls. A lot of them were from Arkansas and Louisiana, so they can just easily go back home. But my 8 hour, that was a long drive for 2 days, So, like I said, genuinely good people. I just feel like they were in a position that it was their first year coaching anyways, and like, it was rough dealing with girl emotions and
new programs,
things like that. And so it just was, I just did not enjoy it my second and third year. I had too much pressure. A lot of the girls probably hated me my third year. They thought I was a snitch, when in reality I probably just stayed in my room all the time. But like, even at one point I was told, if I didn't say or tell them what girls were doing, like, it was going to affect me. And so I think, I guess that's when it kind of differs from someone who had a good college experience, like Asia. She had a great time at UConn. While me, I had a totally different time at,
But that's the truth and reality of the sports in general.
It honestly is.
Boys, and I want to preface this by like, for boys and girls, it's the exact same.
Yeah.
I got teammates that like, if you talk about like me going to Rhode Island, like I love Rhode Island with all my heart. I had some of the best years of my life there.
Yeah.
But you know, I go ask a couple of old teammates that didn't play with me for 4 years, and they could probably. I have some that could say the exact opposite.
Like they hated it.
Like I hated it here. You know, screw this guy, screw that. Like they were treated like, and it was completely different. And that's part of it, because it's a business at that point. You know, it's not all sunshines and rainbows. It's not for the love of the game. You know, people are at different places in their lives, and that's a part of it. And then when you put that in a competitive setting where you combine all these people with all these things, like you like most teams will have clash. Yeah. And I could say we went to the regional tournament, we won a championship, and the chemistry for all 4 years I was at college, when we won it all, was the only time I felt like our chemistry as a team was unified. Great. Was unified. And I was like, and if you're going to be completely honest, I think my team, my junior year, which we lost in the tournament, didn't even win it all. I thought we were more talented my junior year than we were my sophomore year.
Heart will always trump talent any day.
My sophomore year, we were like good luck breaking us apart. Yeah. Like we're all going to go out as a team. Our whole team went out, not cliques of 3 or 4 different guys. Like we all came together. And that was something that I realized, you know, at the age of 22, you know, my senior year, and I was feeling like, you know, my senior year was the difference between like the Gen Z or Gen X kids, and I was the last of the millennials, and like like just how we were raised and how we played the game, like they were all about fun. We were all about getting your ass and do that. And we would clash, like our mindsets would clash. And I kind of had an epiphany being a captain, and I was like, we're not gonna go for it because like we can't unify as a team. And failure on my end.
They just want to do what they want.
Yeah, but failure on my end is like, I think it was my job as a leader to find a way to mesh the upperclassmen with the young classmen. That was my problem being a captain. And I just didn't know how to do it.
I didn't know how to do it either.
And, you know, I think I realized it as I got older, and, you know, learned from a couple other guys that, like, there's more than one way to lead. But, like, and I knew that, but, like, as a leader, you don't have to stick to a certain way to lead. Yeah. And I just thought, because I've been doing it since the jump, and it worked, get on board or get out of here. Like, exactly. And it's not like that, because at the end of the day, it wasn't like I had 35 guys, millennial, and then like, you know, 5 new freshmen. Yeah. I had half of my freshmen, but we had a good chunk of freshmen playing with us, and sophomores that are playing with us. And then we had like, it was like almost 50-50. And it took me too long to realize that I needed to change. Yeah. And I wish I could take that back and redo it over again. I'm sure we all wish we could.
Probably my 3rd year of college, I wish I can try to redo. Like even my sophomore year, I let a boy distract me my sophomore year. That was I think my second boyfriend, my college boyfriend. I let him distract me a little bit. I let, you know, friends and like bad activities distract me a little bit too. It didn't really affect me, you know, playing wise. Honestly, I don't think I really ever had a bad year stats wise, but behind the scenes, it sucked sometimes for me. And like, you know, and like I said, I put a front with the relationship. It was all peaches and perfect, you know, but college relationships are not perfect. It sucked a little bit. And I sticked it out for, I think, 3.5 years. Long distance, it sucked. I should have known it wasn't going to work. And then from there, even with friends wise, I probably don't talk to a single person from that college. I like MIA'd, and I came back home, and now I have a whole new group of friends, have a whole new perfect boyfriend. I play slow pitch, you know, now it's just for fun. And like, I never played to have fun. And I think that was the main problem in my game, is that I did not have fun a lot. If you don't enjoy something you do, why are you dedicating your life to it? Yes, you know? Exactly. And I think that's a big part of it, and that's some things that a lot of players need to come to terms with. But going back to, you know, you as a player, what are some of the things that you did on the field, or some of the skill sets that you had that separated you from, like, you know, girls your age that didn't play, you know, up, or that didn't get recruited? So, okay, are we talking about college, high school, or? Let's go high school, and then we'll go up against college as well. Honestly, high school, I blended in because the Houston area has some good girls, okay? But I mean, I did lessons, you know, a lot of high school people that that's when you like encounter people, they're not going to college to play. They're just playing. So from there, You know, I did lessons. I always went to select practice 2-3 times a week. I was always doing tournaments on the weekend. So I feel like from there, I always had a skill set because I was always working. So high school ball wasn't hard for me at all. It kind of felt easy, you know. It was just more of like, I felt like high school was a warm up for like my select tournaments on the weekends.
You feel like you outworked a lot of girls?
Oh, for sure. Like sometimes I would stay after practice just hitting by myself, hitting on a tee by myself. I go to the back, hit on a tee by myself. I go rent out cages by myself and hit, you know. Because at that time I was, even in college, I was a pitcher that hit too. So I was always around the 4 or 5 hole. My freshman year, I let off though in college. Never did that a day in my life until that year. It probably will never happen again. But yeah. So I just, like I said, my dad pushed me so hard when I was a kid, and I think nothing to my brother or anything, but I think because my brother did not make it to college just because of like, you know, other circumstances. I think my dad pushed me so hard to like be better, to be in college, do the, you know, the right, not that it wasn't the right thing, you know, everybody has different paths. Me and my brother just took different paths when it came to our sports. We both had the same passion for it.
Sure.
Both had the same attitudes and emotions when it came to it. I think that's when you can tell we were siblings for sure. But yeah, I think my dad was a big role in it for sure. Because at first, I'm telling you, me and my dad would butt heads. So I was like wanting to be a kid, you know. Yeah.
I remember you saying like your dad at the age of 12 said, I'm not coaching you anymore, but that didn't mean he stopped working with you.
Yes, no.
He just became your personal trainer, not in front of the public
Even if I did not like pitching, I was just relatively good at it. My dad was like, oh, we're going to pitching lessons. So I'd do pitching lessons once a week, hitting lessons once a week, practice like 3 times a week. And that's with doing high school and having a job, you know. So, because my junior year, I had a job, had a typical Kroger job, you know.
Ain't no rest for the wicked.
You know what I'm saying? So I would literally go to practice at 5-something in the morning. From there, I would go to school all day. And then I had some practice after school, and then I would go to work, and then I get home like about 11 p.m., 11:30, and I do it all over again. So it's just like when it comes to having work ethic, I've always had it because of him. You know, I wasn't just handed things, which I'm not saying it's bad. You know, some people are very grateful people being handed things. You know, they're grateful for the riches that they have, you know. And I'm not saying, my dad did have money and things like that, but he did not spoil me with that money, which I'm so grateful for because I feel like it made me into the hardworking person I am today. And yeah, I'm, like I said, he's a big part of my journey. My dad for sure. Even my stepmom just going to all these tournaments with me, not knowing all the knowledge she knew, but you always have to give, you know, to that parent that took you to those places, you know, to the tournaments every weekend, to all the games, came to the games and things like that. So
how did you separate yourself when you went to college? Like, how'd you play better? Because I'm assuming your dad stayed home.
Yeah, my dad did not come with me to Arkansas. No, so in college, I felt like it was easier, honestly, and nothing to, you know, Arkansas or Oklahoma, anything. But I felt like my select in high school ball was harder than college.
Really?
It was, the pitching was slower. And like, even in select in high school, I was facing girls that were hitting mid-60s. But when I got to like, where was it? Arkansas, it was like low 60s, 50s, mid-50s. And then there was a couple girls that can hit that like mid-60s.
But from a competition standpoint, it was easier. It was
so much easier. So I was like, why didn't no one introduce me to Arkansas sooner?
Should have moved here. I would have been stopped.
I know.
So like when I think it's funny because when I played for the Houston Heat, which is how I got recruited, Mitch and I got recruited, you know, we're facing guys that throw like, you know, 98, 97, 96. Like we're playing those guys every week, and like top of the top, like everybody on this team's going D1. Everyone's going D1, and it's hardcore. But when I got to college, the pitching wasn't as hard.
Exactly.
My freshman year, but I will say this is like they were better because I feel like in high school for boys, everyone's just trying to throw hard. If I throw hard, I get a scholarship. I go, but like when I got to college, everyone's throwing like 88, maybe 90, 92.
Oh, really?
But they're throwing it, he threw it there on purpose. Or it's like, he did it twice. Like he did it twice on purpose. Oh, that slider's moving pretty hard. Like I would say the precision of the game came in college.
See, it was so opposite for me. Like I had this girl from Alvin, she threw these like only 50s, but she had disgusting movement, and that's why Alvin like won the whole district. Like it was disgusting how disgusting her movement was.
And girls pitching, girls can pitch like every day.
Oh when I told you when I transferred and played on JV, I was JV's pitcher and I pitched every game.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Does it? And you guys get no fatigue in the arm?
I had to take pain meds, but you know.
Don't we all?
But you know, it's not as hard on the arm like baseball is. It's a more of a natural movement.
Natural movement. Yeah.
So I would throw like maybe in a game I threw. JV was not hard to pitch in. Like I said, it's because I just moved the district and they needed a pitcher, and I was like, oh, I know how to pitch. But yeah, it was like I struck out a lot of people. So it wasn't hard to pitch on JV being a junior, you know, until she found out I was in district and she moved me to varsity. Pitching was gone.
So last couple questions. One thing that if you could go back in time and tell yourself before you got to college, what would be one thing you would tell yourself as a player?
Focus on the game a little bit more. Like I said, I let boyfriend and friends distract me a little bit, and I'll never say I regret, because I feel like it made me into the person I am today, to be with that person or to have the friends that I have. But I wish I did not let them distract me a little bit in college, to the point even my college coach told me I should have not been dating that person. And I was like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. She knew what she was talking about. Yeah. Okay, it's distracted me from being a player, especially my sophomore year.
I think there's a lot of truth in that, because some people,
when you get to college, you're not with your parents no more. Yeah, they can't tell you what to do.
I think it's that level of that safety net kind of, in a sense, that's gone. But also, like, it's very easy in college because it's college. Yes. And you're also you could probably attest to this. Your mind 3 years ago is way more crazier than it was.
I'm so much more mature, man. Yeah. I wish I had this mind in college. I would have been a rock star.
Because for me, I know, there's certain things that I'll walk around and I'm like, yeah, that probably would have set me off 3 years ago.
Yes, I'm so more mellow now. I'm like, I was a crash out in college, man.
We were all at our physical athletic peakness, and we were 100% go,
yes.
But it does take a lot of, there is some truth, it is so easy to get lost.
It is, and
in college, on why you're there. Yeah. What are you there for? I'm there for baseball, or I'm there for softball. But then you see the whole spread, you're like, well, am I here? Or did I just work to get here?
Exactly. And I feel like it's not talked about enough, but athletes really deal with depression and anxiety terribly. Honestly, I started probably feeling it in high school, just the pressure in select and the pressure from feeling all that. I started getting such bad depression, and I don't want to sound I don't think it's racist, but I feel like in black culture, a lot of black cultures don't believe in depression and things like that. They believe if you want to be happy, you can be happy. And that's kind of how
they're it's a mindset.
And that's kind of how the mindset my dad had. Nothing to my dad, he didn't know. So, he was just he kind of laughed when I told him I was depressed, He's like, you're a kid, you don't have responsibilities, how are you depressed? And so when I got to college, I finally started going to therapy, and then that's when I got on depression meds and things like that. Not saying that was my worst regret, but I wish I never got on them. Instead, I just wish I had someone to talk to. But I feel like doctors nowadays are so quick to give you a prescription, you know? So I feel like a lot of people don't talk about the mental health that athletes honestly go through.
And I think that's important, because, athletes can go downhill for any reason. You like you say, it can be something love related, it can be something family related, it can be injury related, which I think is the most common.
Yeah, and I had it bad.
Yeah, when you get injured and then you go through the surgery and you healed and you get to your return time and you just go, well, nothing feels right.
Exactly.
I am not my.
And that was my third year after I was diagnosed with everything that I had. It was I told him, I said, honestly, to the girls in my third year, I'm so sorry for the B word that I was, but I was just going through so much, and it's not an excuse, but I was going through so much that I had such a blank space over my face. I did not care how I talked to you at all, and that's my mistake.
And I think it shouldn't be pushed to the side. I think if as a student athlete, you go hey, I'm struggling, or I'm doing this, it shouldn't be you shouldn't have to take it on your shoulders. I feel as a university or college institution, they should have someone to teach about strategies about handling it, not negating it, because I feel like that's what kind of the older generation does. What do you have to be depressed for? You're here on 100% scholarship. Look at all these hot girls, hot guys out here. What do you? I have to go home and do. They compartmentalize and they compare their own life to you, and that's not fair.
Exactly.
However, it's not okay for you to go around and just act like that and self-sabotage yourself. Yeah. There needs to be some sort of strategy or development on how to deal with it, and it shouldn't. So I think the school should pay for it.
Yeah.
I don't think it should come from the school because a lot of things that come from the school, a lot of people just negate anyway. So first off, if I have a counselor be like, well, we have therapy for our guys if you guys want therapy.
Yeah.
If you come up to a 20-year-old athlete and say, you need therapy, you should go to therapy, I'm going to look at you crazy. And
I'm not going to go.
Yeah, that might set me up. However, if I have my coach who I'm trusting and they go, hey, something's wrong. I can tell something's wrong. You do not have to talk to me. I want you to talk to this person and get it out of your system.
Yeah.
Find a way to deal with it. Come back to me.
Exactly.
Be my guy. You are my guy. Be my guy. Go take care of it right now. Go see so-and-so on your own. Like, I've made a reservation for you. Don't tell anyone about it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm pulling you over. Go take care of it. We'll deal with it. If you need to talk to me about it, fine. Come back. And then it should be something like, it should be coming from someone who cares, not a school out of obligation.
But see, I feel like a lot of coaches don't do that. They just care how you perform on that field.
Well, of course, because that's their job.
Exactly.
That's their job. Like, they're not necessarily paid or compensated enough to care for you, but they should. And I feel like as a coach, like, I know if my coach in college had something like that, he 100% would have done it.
Yeah.
Like, my coaches in college cared.
Yeah.
Some coaches in like high school, no. I know some college coaches also don't give it. Yeah, they don't care, but it should be paid for by the university, but it shouldn't come from the university. Exactly, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I feel like that would help a lot. That would have helped me. That would have probably helped you.
You know how many kids would be helped, especially athletes, if they just had that. And I did go to the school and they did offer it and then make me like pay some of it. So it's just like I was doing it a little bit and then it was like, I don't know, I just felt so alone probably my third year that I just started crashing out, you know? And like I would go to the field, hit by myself, have a speaker and just hit for hours. It was probably so unhealthy, the things that not how I coped, you know, I didn't drink, you know, do things like that. But, you know.
You knew it wasn't the right way to go about it.
But just how physically drained that would make my body, just so I can go back to my dorm and sleep, so I didn't have to be awake.
Right, you're trying to numb the feeling, not treat the feeling.
Treat the feeling, exactly.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people, they confuse coping mechanisms with, well, now I feel better. No, you just feel better temporarily. You didn't solve any issues. Yeah. And that's usually people's number one go-to on how to deal with things, and that should be addressing, because like imagine how many more athletic careers you'd save, how many lives you'd save.
Honestly.
Right, you know.
Like, you just see how many athletes just from like what 2019 to now have, you know, passed away because of mental health.
Yeah, it's a real going problem, not only in the athlete world but in general. But like as far as athletes are concerned, that's kind of like my stance on it. Yeah. And all that. And then last question: if you could give a girl trying to get recruited into college. She wants to, but she's trying to. What advice would you give her?
Do not dilly-dally in your warm-ups. Your warm-ups, the coaches that's the first thing they are looking at is your warm-ups. If you're not taking it serious, you're not truly stretching, you're laughing around, you know, they're just going to be like, oh, she doesn't take it serious. I promise you, I had a coach that I talked to when I was doing my college recruiting. Not for talking about me, but he said, you know, I've even recruited a girl. I looked at her warm-up. I didn't even stay for the game. Wow. Yeah. So, you know, when you get on that field, you're a different person. Yeah. You know, you need to lock in. Yes, have fun. And two, also, they see how you talk to your teammates, too. So it's not always about the physical, what you can do. It's about who you are as a person as well.
Physicality gets you through the door, huh?
Exactly. And I just think, you know, especially be a part of a good corporation. Or organization. I always tell people, you know, if you really want to get your kid recruited, at least in this area, I don't know how it is for other states, things like that. I truly recommend being on a select team or doing lessons if your kid's just not there yet. Yeah. You know, like I said, I started a little later. I didn't start when I was 4 or 5. I did T-ball, you know. Mm-hmm. But I recommend like doing the select route if you really want to get your kid recruited, because most select teams go to those college exposure camps, they go to the college tournaments, things like that, and it's just such good exposure. Yes, high school's good, but at least, like I said, in this area, select team, finding a true good select team is really good too.
Awesome. I think that's great advice. And Cece, we are a little bit over. We are coming up on an hour. No, it's my fault, but it was a great conversation. I want to thank you for being on our podcast. Of course. We'll have to get you back on again. I feel like we could have talked for like 18 more hours, but time flies. You got a game to go to.
I know.
Guys, please like and subscribe, and thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.